Hi, we have one person on YouTube. I don't think people will join us today. I forgot today is World Cup final. I'm supposed to be watching the match, anyways. Big Dummy. Uh, hi, Mary Fertility. Hi, God's Pride. Okay, we have two people on YouTube. If you guys want to watch the match, maybe I will cancel. Welcome, Dami. I forgot today is World Cup. Why am I showing two things on my screen? Let me see. So I forgot today is World Cup. I don't know if people will turn up today. Do you guys want us to cancel today's class so you can go and watch World Cup? We'll continue another day. Is this working at all? You have gist for me, oh. What's the gist? Me, I like gist, though. I don't follow you finish yesterday. I slept off. I understand, my sister. That's how I always sleep off on people too. Okay. Today is reading anyway, so because of the people that are around, I wouldn't cancel it. But I wish I'm watching the World Cup final. Big Dammy, do you want to tell me the gist here, or you want to tell me my DM? Me, I like gist. I like because I like gist. Let me just say. So let's start. So we'll be doing. Maybe we'll just do 3 and 4, and I'll allow you people to go watch World Cup. This cheese making, I'm thinking they can do it because there are a lot of Canada people. They like to eat cheese a lot. I guess almost all the. I tried practice. Also, people for the first time for listening. Like God says, I still have a long way to go. Oh, was it all part of the listening that you practiced? Your result is out. Oh, it didn't go well at all. Sorry. What happened? What did you score? Paul, what when is the date for another one? Hope it's not too sudden. Because I know what most people do is that when they don't do well, instead of calming down, they want to like, when is the next exam? This reading. This week Wednesday. Is that not too sudden? Which one was is it the reading? Listening and reading for but for me I don't think you should write on this week Wednesday. When did you write that you're rushing to write again? So sorry. Because if you have 5 in reading, you need to identify what your problem is. You need to find out, is your problem the fact that you're reading slowly, or you don't really understand what you're reading and tackle it. I know some people might book uh you could if you ask me, I would have said you should give yourself at least 2 weeks to practice before going to write again. Let's start so that I don't waste A lot of you guys time. I wrote on the you wrote on the ninth. When is the ninth? Ninth was last week. Oh, have you been practicing so far? Have you been practicing for now? Have you been practicing now? Part three and part four. Okay. Today I know a lot of people will not be here because even me, my spirit is where what's it called? World Cup is. I wanted to watch. I've not been watching, but I intended to watch the finale, especially the halftime. I wanted to watch the performance by Burna Boy and Shakira. But now I'm here, so let's be quick so they can go. Anyways, cheese making. I hope you guys can. Yes, if you missed anyone, you will have to. If you're currently scoring 20 out of 38, then I don't think you should write on Wednesday. There is no rush going to rewrite again. If you're doing your practice, you're scoring 20 out of 38, there is no point going to write because you should be targeting to have at least a 9 if you want to max out your score. 9 is not even you maxing out your score, 10 is maxing out your score. But if you have 9 in one, is okay. That means you have 133 out of 136 points. But if you're having currently you're practicing, this is the problem. If you're practicing and you are not doing well, there is no point going to write that exam. Just reschedule it and keep practicing until you are better. There is no rush going to write again when you are not even doing well in your practice. You still, I don't want to say you go and you still fumble, but 20 out of 38 is not a good score at all. I'm sorry that you have failed the first one you wrote, but this is not a good score. And that's what I tell people. When you're practicing and you know that you're not doing well yet, there's no point going to, you can reschedule your exam and keep practicing until you're better. For people that are struggling with reading, it's it's as long as you have not really dealt with the problem you have, maybe slow reading or not reading for meaning. If you have not dealt with that problem, you will not be able to overcome it. So I don't know why you are rushing to go and write on Wednesday like this. Go and keep practicing. This score that you said you're having now, that you are scoring this, it's very, very poor. And that is why your score for the exam is that poor. So if you are practicing, if you're not getting anything up to 30, then don't go. And this is for everybody now. If you're not getting up to 30, for any of you, any I'm not even, I know everybody, most people are struggling with self reading. But if you're not getting up to 30 in any of it, maybe read listening, or for the ones that are scored over 38, listening and reading. If you're not getting up to 30, there's no point going to write that exam. Reschedule it and keep practicing. You are not ready. You are not ready to write. Yeah. Give yourself time. Keep practicing. Practice very well consistently. If you are slow in reading, then focus. Use 1 week might be too much, but use the first week to try to solve your slow reading problem, or your reading for meaning problem, or you keep practicing and find something that works for you. Then before you go and write, there is no point rushing. There is no rush. Instead, you'll be dashing people this money. And there's one person I told this particular thing, but the person just think, oh, we should go and write again, and oh, but I already see that the person she's a very slow reader. And I told her, you need to focus on working. And she kept going to give them money until she listened, and she started, she she calmed down and focused on her problem. Solve that problem first. If you solve the problem first, then you go and rewrite. Because if you're not scoring up to 30, you are not going to, even if you, I know, like 8 is not even a good score if you want to, if you're looking for a good CRS point for PR, except for people that are using it for PGWP. And if you get 7, I would say, okay, it's okay, you use it to do PGWP and then rewrite later. But if PR is what you're doing, you need to have at least 9 if you want a good score, because even that score, to get the desired score that you want for your PR, you need to be having 10, 10, 10. And if you can't get it, have at least have 999. So let's start. Cheese making is an ancient practice that combines both artistry and scientific precision, dating back over 3,000 years. So this place is talking about history and description of cheese making and description. So the cheese making process begins with, let me reload this question. Sorry, I want us to see how far we can go with time. You people are the ones that will answer it, but we'll be looking at time. So let me start. Cheese making is an ancient practice that combines both artistry and scientific precision, dating back over 7,000 years. Sorry. The cheese making process begin with the selection of milk, which can come from cow, sheep, and other animals. Okay. Then once the curd has formed, cheesemaker skill becomes particularly important. Okay. The final process and the final and often the longest phase of cheese making is the aging and maturation process. Aging and maturation. So now, what I picked here was aging and maturation. Aging and maturation. So I know that's the process here, because this is, if you read every other thing here, you will see that whatever they are going to be talking about is about that aging and maturation process. Then this place I put the skills and chord formation and skill. Then this place I picked out like the first process of cheese making, and this place I feel that they are going to be talking about. Mm, I think this place is talking about the process from when they get the milk to they are going to be talking about when they get the milk to when the thing form into like a curd, like, and then they form together. When the milk form together, then this one is giving you like a description of history. So you see, this is how your passage is organized. And then let's go into the question. The aging process requires specific environmental condition to be maintained. You guys are going to be fast in this particular part. You'll be giving me your response fast, fast. I don't want any slow response today. So which paragraph is this? This should be easy to pick. Which paragraph is this? TikTok, YouTube, oh yeah. Which paragraph is this? From everything I read. Now, the aging process. Let me read what I have again. Now, you are wasting time, but let me read what I have. For paragraph A, you see, I told you guys when I read the first, I think people are not having it, because this one I'm seeing BC. Where am I seeing BC from? Cheese making is an ancient practice that combines both artistry and scientific precision, dating over 7,000 years. And I said from this sentence now, you can see what they're talking about is the definition of cheese, or like description of cheese, or history of cheese kind of, and description, because they are telling you what it that has to do with it, cheese making, not cheese itself. This is description. You're making me go back now that we are wasting, but it doesn't matter. You people need to understand. Then the second one says the cheese making process begins with selection of milk, which can come from cow. And I told the people here, I told the milk selection, or milk selection and first step. Like this is, if you read other things following here, it will tell you like after they get the milk, whatever that follows next, until the milk has formed into solid. This is what they will be talking about here, the process that happens there. Then this one, if you read it here, read this one now, it will tell you what will be happening in this paragraph. Once the curd is formed, you see that's what I said, this one from milk to when it has formed. I don't even know that thing is called curd, but from this I say it's called curd. But however, once it has formed into solid, now the cheesemaker skill becomes, that is, the milk has formed into solid. The cheesemaker skill becomes particularly important. So this one tells you like, okay, when the milk has formed together, come together into solid, this is where the skill maker, the skills, then the cheese maker will now put other skills in place. Then the this one is paragraph D. It says the final and often the longest phase is cheese making, of cheese making is the aging and maturation. I tell you, this place is aging and maturation. You know that whatever they are going to be talking about here is the aging of the cheese after the aging and the maturation process of the cheese before it's ready for consumption. So this is what is going to be they will talk about here. And you see this question, this one is even very easy. They said the aging process requires a specific environmental condition to be maintained. Which paragraph among all of these things? Exactly, D, thank you. This is how you know. So at least we know D, but then we now have to go and confirm if this statement is exactly if this statement is exactly as it is in the paragraph, before we will now confirm totally that is D. So the aging process requires specific environmental conditions. So we'll pick environmental condition, and I come and you know that you already know where you are looking, and you scan. I think I see environment. So as um environmental factors such as temperature, humid, and the presence of specific microorganisms must be carefully controlled throughout this process. Exactly. This is it. They said the aging process requires specific environmental conditions. These conditions, you see, they listed it to be maintained. They need it to be in a specific way. That is, they need it to be controlled in a specific way during that period. So yes, D is correct. It is the same thing. Then let's go again. Production. Modern cheese production method has completely replaced traditional techniques. Where do you think this one is going to be? From what I have told you, how this thing is organized now, where do you think is going to be? The passage is not clear. How is it not clear? Missy, why do you say the passage is not clear? Is it that you're not okay, okay, thank you. Okay. So yeah, because if you read this thing now, modern cheese making technique, and they said traditional technique, and I have what I wrote, well, when I said okay, what when I was telling you what each paragraph is about, I said this place is talking about history of cheese making or the definition. So we can check here, and then we say modern cheese making met production method. So let's look for modern. I think I see modern. Okay, so let's read it. Modern cheese making has evolved to incorporate sophisticated techniques and equipment that ensures consistency and safety in production. They didn't say anything about replacing traditional methods, has completely replaced. They only said it has evolved to incorporate sophisticated technique and equipment that ensure consistency and safety in production. So it's not the same thing. And don't come and start saying, okay, I want to check other places. I wouldn't want to check other places because I already know that this place, this number two, is talking about the process of milk selection and to the time the milk ferment and it turns into it turns into a solid. So I know it will not be here. This place is talking about after it turns to solid, what happens next, or what the cheese maker will now do to it. And then this is the aging process and maturation process. So I know that it can never be in any of this part again. So there is no point me going around and looking because I know this is the only place if it wanted to be in this passage, this is the only place it will be. And they did not talk about it in the same way. They are talking about cheese making, incorporating other technique and equipment. So it's E. So once you check that place, it's not the same thing then you are going to select E. Then let's see. Renate can be produced through different method. Renate can be produced through different methods. So for me, I know that the last time what's it called, that I tried to go into it. But if you see renate can be produced through different method, if you ask me, this place it will be this kind of question, this question now, if you read it, I feel it's talking about the process. Some, I don't know what renate is, but to me other things can be produced through other method. I think it's talking about the process that happens during the cheese, because produced during through different method. And I know, like, okay, process, they started talking about process in this paragraph B. So you have to read your question. When you read your question, the only thing that should be in your mind is, do I understand what this question is asking? And the next thing is, do I know the paragraph where I'm likely to find my question? Because you don't have time to be looking up and down. So I read this question, I understand that it's talking about renate. I don't know what renate is. That's why I say focus on the one you know. And I leave this renate alone. I focus on this one to understand my question. Can be produced through different methods. So this thing has to do like the process of making something. And I know that the first process started with in paragraph B. So I will go there and look for that renate. I will choose that word I don't know. I will use it as a keyword, and I will, and also like other, the meaning of this thing will be in my mind, can be produced. So I'm looking for renate now, keywords. I think I see renate. So I will go and read that sentence. Following this, renate, an enzyme traditionally extracted from calf, calf stomach, but now often produced through microphobia micro microbial fermentation, is added to coagulate the milk proteins, forming curd and whey. Okay, yes. They said rennet can be produced through different methods. I would say yes, B, because they said rennet, if you read the first sentence, it said following this rennet, an enzyme traditionally extracted. This is the first method of getting it. The first method is you get it either from the calf of the stomach, and the second, but now they now get it from microbial fermentation. So they can get rennet from two different methods. That's what it's saying. So I will agree with B. Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at the people's comments. I supposed to even ask you people. I went straight to answering this question. So next one, I'll ask you people. Salt. Salt serves at serves multiple purpose cheese making cheese making beyond flavoring. What paragraph do you think it can be in? If you read that question, if you have it in exam, now I will be asking you people why, because it's like people are just telling me, why do you say, I know you have seen, without looking at paragraph, I know we talked about it in the last week briefly, but without looking, why do you people, like, if you look at this question without going to the passage alone, can you someone tell me, like, why do you think, I'm not scrolling up, I want you to use critical thinking first. I will scroll up later when we go to the C, but there is nothing like that in A and B. That's why you chose. Okay, well, that's a good start. There's nothing like that in A and B. But let's say in Celpip that the script, each passage is very long. In Celpip, each passage is actually longer than this. Each paragraph, I mean, is longer than this, and you can't go through. I know, like, you people have time now to be looking. When you don't have that I'm talking, you are losing the opportunity to look. I want you to think about, how do you use this question to decide within yourself where I'm going to look. part of the process. As, okay, because when you see, because that's how people manage time. If you see this question in Celpip, one paragraph can be A and B is like A and B joined together. I remember when I saw my paragraph, my C, my part three, my heart flew out of my body because it was very lengthy. I wasn't expecting it to be that long. I don't know if it still happened, but that was how it is. It was very long. So there's a lot you cannot read. So salt is more like preservation and also fermentation process. Okay, okay. But fermentation, they talked about it here. So now, why I would choose C is because B, we already know B. We will talk about from this thing. We know that B is talking about like selection of milk to like the process of milk selection and how like working on the milk itself and what's it called? See now, once the curd is formed, that means when it has solidified, they said the cheesemaker skill becomes particularly important. So I know that okay, here that now there are a lot of things will happen. This is another process after it has formed into solid. That so many things will now happen. That is when they say cheesemaker skill will become particularly will become very important here. So I just feel like with this multiple purpose in cheese making beyond flavoring. So this place flavoring and everything that they talked about, I know like okay, because of this cheesemaker skill, I guess it's the cheesemaker that will have to put things together here. That is what will direct me to see. And like okay, what is it called? Aduni said she's going to look because there is nothing like that process in A and B. So it's also another thing. Okay, you can just start scanning salt. You are looking for salt. I see salt here. Remember that when you see when you read the question, you are not going to start reading and where you are looking for your salt, you are reading. Don't waste that time. I just opened my eyes and I was searching and I see salt and then I will read it. Salt is typically added during this stage, not only for flavor, but to control moisture. What about timing? That's why I was I was saying if you because if you use 1 minute, sorry, I have to answer somebody that say what about timing? Even if it's long, that one of your passage like this passage, passage A is the length of A to B. Let's say your passage A is up to this place. If you sentence, read this first sentence and actually understand what you feel would happen in this passage, in this paragraph, you use 1 minute to already understand what your whole passage is all about and how they are organized. So the next, you now have your 9 minutes to you now have 9 minutes because I tell you for the fact that you should use 1 minute to only read the first line. If you That's why I said during practice, all these things are the things you're supposed to do during practice. During practice, for the people that are struggling, make sure that if you open a passage, read the first line in one, be timing yourself and make sure you are able to read all the first line from paragraph A to D in 1 minute and you understand it in that 1 minute. If you do not get it, open another passage, try it in 1 minute, read all the first line, open another passage in 1 minute. You are timing yourself. This is you trying to understand how you're able to manage your time to go through to understand how your passage is organized and also understand what your passage is talking about. So you time your that's like how practice happens. It's not that you just come once you open question, you are just answering. You are doing try your luck because you don't really understand what you are answering. So you don't need to practice is you understanding so that if you go to exam or something else, if you don't understand these things, when you go to exam, when you now see the length of the question, you will now be thrown off balance because you did not practice with a lengthy question. And I don't think even the one they have on Celpip website themselves, their passage is also this short. They don't give you a lengthy passage, but in the exam is lengthy. So, but if you because the first line will also remain the first line. So if you practice how to read your first line during practice, how to read first line, and you do it in 1 minute and you understand it in that 1 minute. It's not that that 1 minute you didn't understand. If you read it in 1 minute, if you read the first line of all these paragraphs in 1 minute and you did not understand them, continue doing it until you learn to read to understand. 1 minute is what you have to go through these things. It's because we are practicing here and I need people to understand. That's why you see me like wasting time to go through it. So we should see this one now. The basic steps of cheese making. The basic steps of cheese making has remained consistent through history. Where do you think this one can be? The basic steps of cheese making have remained consistent throughout history. 1 minute, I'll give you 1 minute. In fact, when I count to, you have to decide. When I count to 10 seconds, you have to decide within 10 seconds how many, where you are going to look immediately, A or B. Okay, thank you, Aminat. Ajoke, A, okay, Adini, A, okay, exactly. Missy, okay, A. So yeah, exactly. You already know. Okay, let me go to A, and what are we? Which question? This is it. The basic remain consistent throughout history. So we see basic. So I see basic immediately anyway. So we'll see. The basic principle involves transformation of milk into solid throughout a careful control situation. Okay, it's not that one. Okay, I see step. Remember, remember that you are looking basic and step, like the fundamental step and the basic step means the same thing. So I just say why the fundamental step has remained largely unchanged since ancient time. So has remained consistent, has remained largely unchanged since ancient time. So yeah, I agree that it is A. So the next one, again, you have 10 seconds if I read this question from when I read this question to decide. Cheesemakers must regularly rotate certain type of cheese making, certain type of cheese during the aging. Okay, this one is even easy. So you guys, this one is easy to know where it is. So yeah, uh, yeah, joyous, yeah. This one is easy. Someone already said D. I'm going to be taking the first response. I'm wrong with it because that's yeah. Because aging is already we already know that aging. So he said cheese making must regularly rotate cheese maker. So let's see, rotate. So I think here turn to ensure this is it. Okay. So let's see. Will regularly rotate certain type of cheese during aging. So let's see. Some cheese makers are also treated with are, are are also treated with certain molds or bacteria during aging, while others are regularly washed and turned to ensure even maturation. So yeah, cheesemakers must regularly rotate certain types of cheese. You see it? While some cheese are treated with mold and bacteria, while others are regularly washed and turned. So a certain type, yeah, I agree. D. Thank you, Cynthia. So the next one, um, the type of milk used. Hey, by the way, you guys, I'm not even checking this TikTok now. Before they will, can you people help me like it? I'm supposed to be telling you people because that's why they said that's why that I know used to have activity during my life, and that's why they keep what's it called saying I'm not doing. So please always help me, even though I always forget to say it. Please help me to like every now and then, so they will not be sending me those their error message. I wasn't checking. I was not even checking it. Thank you. The type of milk used affect the nutritional value of cheese. Where do you think this one is going to be? The type of milk used. Where do you think this one is going to be? 10 seconds. Oh yeah, 10 seconds. B. Okay, joyous. I'm not supposed to say it out loud, but people will see it anyways. Joyous have said B. So we are going to go with B. Do you guys agree? You two people are not fast in their comment. Okay, B. So let's go. The type of milk, because that place talked about milk selection. Begin with milk selection, exactly. And that's why you go, you know where to go. So they say the type of milk affect the nutritional value of cheese. Let's see. I don't think it's here because I what I did was I used my eye. I look for everywhere they have milk selection, which can come from, okay. And I look here is first pasteurized. They're talking about the pasteurization. The next thing is I look for wherever all these places are talking about process when you choose milk, from when selection of milk and then the process it has to go through. So they didn't really say anything about it. I didn't see anywhere where they said anything about it, the nutritional value being dependent on the type of milk. Mhm. So I will just choose E. This one is not given at all. It's not in the passage at all. So then the next question. You see how I did not go and be looking for what is not, what is it called? What is not lost. I did not go up and down and say, oh, because it's not, because I already know where my how my passage is organized. I will keep saying this. You don't have time to be running up and down, because if I use had it been I checked here now and I see that it's not there and I say, okay, let me check other places. If I check other places, imagine you are doing that in an exam. It is eating into the time. It is eating into the time that you use to answer other questions. Then when you are now, let's say you started doing that from your first question, you checked where you're supposed to check and it's not there, you started running up and down. And the reason why you run up and down is because you do not know how your passage is organized. Then when you start running up and down, you would have used like 2 minutes in that question when you're supposed to use 1 minute or even more. Then you go to the next question. By the time you get to number 5, you know that you have not answered 4 questions. You will now start rushing. Maybe you have 1 minute left. You will now start picking anything. If you finish, you fail now. Sorry. That's just it. So you see how I know that it is not here. This is the only place I know milk selection. It will not be any other place. And I did not bother E. Then traditional cheesemakers are required to use pasteurized milk. Where do you think this one will be? Traditional cheesemakers are required to use pasteurized milk. I want to ask about part 4 of reading. Is passage also long? Their passage is just technically longer than what you, but the one that is that was just very lengthy for me was this paragraph passage. This third one, it was really long, like each one of them, each paragraph. The traditional requires milk to use pasteurized milk. Jayas, is it this one you said paragraph B? Okay. What of okay, all of you said B, right? For this, you two people, did you say B for this one, for this 8? I wasn't looking, I don't know. Ajoke Ahmed, is it this question that you are saying B? Or the previous? Okay, okay, okay. So let's see. B required, let's so you say required milk required to use pasteurized milk. So let's see. The milk is first pasteurized to eliminate harmful harmful bacteria through some, though some traditional cheesemakers still use raw milk under strict conditions. Did you people say traditional cheesemakers are required to use traditional? The milk is first the traditional cheesemaker, although they say the milk is is pasteurized to eliminate harmful bacteria. Though some traditional cheese makers still use raw milk under strict conditions. So do you still maintain, is it still B or it will change? Thank you, Joy. Exactly. So you already know where it is and you read it, you see that it's not the same thing. Yes, like their process now involved that the milk is first pasteurized, but they now said where they mentioned that the traditional cheese makers they use raw milk under strict conditions. So it's not given to change exactly. So that's it. You now you will not run up and down and say maybe it's in another place. So it's not. The cord cutting process, exactly, you already know this one is easy to know where it is. The cord cutting process determines the cheese final moisture content. So I think over time I will start asking you people which keyword you are going to use, because it's like it's me that will pick keyword and I'm the one picking keywords for people. So people will need to start working hard in the next in the part 4 we are going to do. You need to be working hard because I'm not writing exam again. So this one, which paragraph? C. Okay, Joyous already said C. So because we already know that we talked about cord there, so it's easy to just go there. So the cord cutting process determines the cheese final moisture. What is the keyword that we are going to use to search here? Keyword, because that's the next thing. What is the keyword that you are going to use to go to that C? Because you are not about to start reading the sentence from beginning to the end. What is the keyword you are going to use to scan? Oh yeah, so all of you give me keyword now. You're wasting time. Keyword, keyword. If you look at this question now, what is the keyword? No, cord cannot be the keyword because the whole passage is talking about cord. The whole paragraph here is talking about cord and moisture. Thank you, Joyous. Okay, cord and moisture. Yes, cutting and moisture. Okay, cord cutting and moisture. Okay, yeah. Mm. So let's see. We are looking for cording. Okay, I see moisture immediately. I even got there. So let's read what is there. Okay, and I see another moisture anyway. So let's see. The cut are cut, stirred and often heated to release more whey and achieve the desire to and achieve the desired moisture content. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. So this is it in this second line. The other one. Sorry, I quickly read this one with my eye. I'm sorry. I used to read it with my eye. So when my mouse was here, I was just reading. So I know that this one is not talking about the same thing. It was just talking about to control the moisture, that sort of stuff. But this one is cord are cut, stirred, and often heated to release more whey and achieve the desired moisture content. Yeah, determines the final. The desired is the final moisture content. So I will say C. Yes, thank you. So let's submit. The next one, you people will be picking all the keywords. I'm not about to run around for you people. You will pick the paragraph and the keyword. You see? So keynote from this one. If you want to go and do practice for Paul, I don't know if you are still online. Hopefully you are still here. What I would advise, open passage, open as many. I don't know the material you're using, if you're using Celpip, but whichever material you're using, open their passage, read the first line of each paragraph. Try to read them within 1 minute. First line of the whole 4 paragraph, try to read them within 1 minute and understand it. Make sure that with that 1 minute, you will time yourself. If you open this a new paragraph, time yourself. If after 1 minute you did not understand what is there, open another one. In fact, let it be something you will do like now. Maybe after, okay, if maybe after this one you are going to bed. Tomorrow from your practice, When you open it, give yourself 1 minute, read it. First line, tell yourself what is this place talking about. You see the way I have the first one, I said history and description. That's what it's talking about. The paragraph B, the other one, I said first process of first process, and I put milk slash milk. The other one, I put cord slash skills. The other one, I put aging slash mature. I know it's maturation stage. So you that first listen, it will help you know. The reason why I write is because you can write, but if you're writing, be fast and use abbreviation, so that when you read your question, even if you have forgotten what you read in that what's it called, in that passage, let me go back. Even if you have forgotten that, oh, this is the place that, oh, sorry, even if you have forgotten that this is the place that talked about aging and maturization. Is it maturation? Maturation. I don't know. People should not laugh at me again. Maturation, yeah. Even if you have forgotten that, oh, this place is the place that, but if you look at your book, you see, oh, aging and maturation is the, but the main thing for you to that you must know is not what each passage is, each paragraph is talking about, and you make sure you know it from this first line, because like I repeat it again, you do not have time to read all of these things. You do not. And eventually it may even be one question that they may ask you from one particular passage, and you would have wasted time reading the whole passage. And like I said in the exam, one of their passages equal to two of this. So try to read it, do it. That should be your assignment for the that should be your assignment. Thank you. I will answer your message after the class. Hopefully, most times after the class, I just go and lay down. Forget that I send people to send me a message. You guys, no verse, but I will try. I have problem of looking around when I get tensions and the time is running out. Well, you too, Missy, start reading the first. I think your exam is coming soon, right? Start reading the first line. Try to understand how your passage is organized. If you understand how your passage is organized, you wouldn't be running around. You will not be running around. Be confident. It will give you more confidence because you know like this. And then the next thing, after reading your passage to know that you understand how it is organized, the next thing is when you read your question, start reading your question. When you read it, like read your question and ask yourself, what is this question talking about? Which passage is it likely to, which of this, where is it, am I going to find this in the passage based on the information that you have in the first line? Don't look around after that. If it's not there, it's not there. Start doing it over time, and practice makes perfection. That's why I'm sure. Please, Paul, I'll beg you in the name of God, please reschedule your exam. Although you already said you will reschedule, but reschedule your exam. Don't write on Wednesday. So let's see. Which one should we pick here? Do anybody have anyone that you want us to do here? Hmm. Should we do this one? 54. Okay, yeah. I just see it's something relatable. Because the other day, I forgot who was telling me here that if you go to grocery stores, a lot of food are being wasted there. I forgot who I was having that conversation there. So that's why I just laughed when I saw it. Mm, so let's see. When the regional food bank, sorry, I want to reload my question to start from the beginning, but it's just that when I start asking people questions, you will not be answering fast. And when the regional food bank of Hamilton reported a 40% increase in the demand in the in demand last year, Executive Director Nadine Packard found herself grappling with an uncomfortably irony. Tons of edible food were being discarded by local retailers while families went hungry. Packard believes that mandatory donation would address both hunger and environmental concerns simultaneously. However, grocery industry representatives expressed reservation about blanket's mandates. Food safety consultant Dr. Miriam Okafor raises additional concerns about liability and quality control. Environmental policy analyst Jerome Vasquez remains optimistic that workable solution exists. So you see, I finished. When I finished, I finished in 1 minute. That's how I went through my. And immediately I read this thing now. I already know who is in support. I already know who is going to share a balanced approach. But I'm going to ask people. I did not want to say it because I want to see if people understand based on this thing. And okay, another thing. Now, when I read this first line, because in your first paragraph in part four, because like I said, when you understand how your passage is organized, it helps you to answer your question. Please help me to like the life, please. Thank you, Kamsi, for always liking the life, please. So that they are saying they're already saying me they don't have activity. Sorry, people should help me to like the life. I know I'm not used to telling people, please like and share. Anyways, so you already know that here the first paragraph is going to tell you the basic what the article is about. So now when I read this first line, although all this place there will be filler words. If I was reading by myself, I may know when I a lot of increase in the I know all these ones are filler sentence, filler words for the sentence. But the irony with an uncomfortable tons of edible food were being discarded by local retailers where why families went hungry. Like that is like maybe the basis of the argument. This place is the basis of the argument, and that is what I picked from that first line I read. Then here, Packet believes that mandatory food donation would okay, so would address both hunger and environmental concerns simultaneously. So this person, Packet, is in support of food donation. That's what I believe. Then Missy, can you please compare reading practice test with actual exam? Like compare on what basis? For me, what I would say that the reading practice, especially for part three, when you are picking topic to practice with, I've not gone through their mock exam much. I can't even remember going through their mock exam on this page, but maybe I will start going. Maybe next time when we come will be. I like to look for relatable topic. That's why if you see me when we want to practice, you see me going up and down. That is not because I can now just open anyone and read. Most times for Celpip and for people that have written, their topic are always relatable, especially like things. That's why when I saw that cheese making, I wanted us to do it because cheese making, the timing is the same. Okay, okay, in terms of timing, yes, the timing is the same timing. So there's the same timing, exactly the same timing. The timing is the same, yeah. So, anyways, so this place, I already read this place. He said, believes that mandatory food donations. Yeah, so I know that this person is in support of food donation. Then this place explains reservation about this one. They said is that they have reservation. So the grocery industry has reservation. I don't and Miriam Okafor because this passage it feels like two group of people are like not in total support of donation like this grocery industry now they have they express reservation, but I'm not going to conclude that they are I'm not going to I'm not going to conclude that they are like against donation. However, they are skeptical because they said they express reservation, but it's not like they are not against it. So you see, when you read, understand what you are reading. I did not rush to tell myself when I read this thing now that these people are against. I know like they have expressed reservation, and expressing reservation doesn't mean you are against it. It might be like, okay, you support it but a little bit, or you support it but like there is a little comma, there is it's not as straightforward as that there is something else. That's without me reading the whole sentence. Then Miriam Okafor raises additional concern about liability and quality controls. So From this, I would say raises additional concern about liability and quality control. So I just feel like, okay, she might, this person from this will be against it. So when you read, it will not, when you read your first sentences now for this part four, the basis of you knowing your where to go for your question is knowing who is in support, who is against, who is sharing a balanced approach, right? And that is when you will not start looking up and down, or sometimes they give you name, or it's not even about looking up and down. That's what will even help you sometimes to, even when you open this option, you read the question, you already have an idea of, oh, what this person will be talking about, because you already understand what will likely happen in this whole sentences without reading the whole sentence, the whole sentences in the paragraph. I only read the first one, but I already know that, okay, this person raised additional concern about quality control and liability. So I know that, oh, she's going to be in, she's not going to be in support of donation. She's going to be against it. And this one now, then I said, remain optimistic and workable solution. Seeing that workable solution, let me know that this person shares like a balanced perspective, like they should find a workable solution, something that is balanced. That tells me that this Jerome is going to have a balanced perspective. So that is how you understand, how you, when you read it, I took my time now to explain it to you. So when you are doing your own practice too, once you read that first line, Paul, when you read, I'm only calling your name because you're the one, I know your exam is coming up soon again right now. So when you're doing this part four, you may you read those first line, be asking yourself question: is this person in support of the topic, of the main topic, or against? From that first line, that's the question you should have in mind, because most people just read the first line or go into their question without actually trying to understand or get meaning from what they are reading. You don't need to start reading all of this thing yet, but that first line tells you, okay, he's in support, he's not in support, this person is balanced, this person is not balanced. Before you go into your question, it will help you a great deal. So let's see. So the main article discusses the environmental consequences of discarding edible products, debate surrounding compulsory food donation policy, operational difficulties encountered by food bank, health hazards associated with redistributed grocery. Which answer? You people, how many minutes? 15 seconds. Oh yeah, I'm counting. Oh, give me the, which one do you think is the answer here? 15 seconds. Uh-uh. 50, okay, Lucy said B. Okay. Okay, thank you for your response. Other people. We did write. Okay, we did not really develop writing, but we talked about writing yesterday. Oh. Is writing your problem? Okay, and we have to. You two people, are you people not among us? 15 seconds. If it's Nezan, you will not pick anyone. Or you people are not here. Have you gone to bed like Aduni yesterday? Paul, pick answer. In fact, I'll be calling you because you're the one that have the exam. Paul, what's your answer? Pick your own answer. Don't pick because other people are, because I don't even know if they are correct. What the main article discusses. Paul, what is your answer? Uh-uh. Kemi, okay. I have two people to be calling their name now. B, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do agree with you people. Yes, there is a part of the paragraph do talk about the overall. They are all talking about it's about debate surrounding compulsory food donation. Exactly. That is what the overall topic. I'm glad that you people are like, most times now you're always getting this first one correct, except for a few occasions that some people don't get it correct. What does Nadine Paquette identify as? And another thing that you can do in exam, like for people that will make you not to be running up and down. For instance, I read this Nadine Paquette now. When you, like, you know that this part is going to be asking you question based on people's opinion. When I want to read now, Paquette believes that I already know that this paragraph B is packet, so that you don't go imagine it's now in between, like this particular place that you can write pack. Don't write the whole name because you don't have time, and write B. So you know that okay, packet, don't need to write it in full. PAC, that's what I wrote. So when I see this, I know that it's in paragraph B. That's like you can try it during practice and see, because so you know where to look. But for people that so you don't go and be running up and down looking for a particular name. Looking for a particular name. So let's see. When Nadine Packet identified the primary obstacle to effective food redistribution, dash, which one? Insufficient storage capacity. Okay, what does because the question didn't make sense when I read it. What does Nadine Packet identify as the primary obstacle to effective food redistribution? So let's read the option. Insufficient storage capacity um, at distribution center, unreliable contribution from retailers, from retail partners, inadequate government funding for food program, poor coordination among charitable organization. So that is so. Let's read Nadine Pakwet. This is paragraph B, and then you know that she is the one that addressed concern. So he said, "What we lack." So me, when I just sorry, I always use my eye too much. So here I went straight to this place that Nadine talked about, and I started looking at what she said, like obstacle, primary obstacle. That was my key. I'm supposed to be asking people keyword anyways. I will ask you in the next one. Primary obstacle was what is in my mind, like okay, what did she say? So when I saw okay, I saw packet, and I had in my mind I was looking for obstacle. So I see something what we lack. I see lack. So lack is kind of obstacle. So it says, what will she assess? What we lack is consistent supply. So let's see this option again. She asserted that what we lack is consistent supply. Voluntary programs are well intention, but they yield unpredictable results. You know that some retailers donate regular while others discard perfectly wholesome produce because it fails to meet aesthetic standards. So what do you think is the answer now? Kevin, okay, you said C, inadequate government funding for food program. What made you say C? Joya said, what made you people say C? Joya said D. Lucy said B. Everybody is up and down. Wahala dey oh. Let me see the B. Let me start from B. Lucy said B. Unreliable contribution from retail partner. Okay. The C is inadequate government funding to program partners. And Joyo said poor coordination among charity organizations. Lack. So lack made you say C. Um, C is inadequate government funding. Anyways, thank you for your response. And I'm glad that this is happening, that everybody, we have different perspective. You two people, you are all saying C. Why TikTok is divided between D and B. Carol. Okay. So now the answer, I agree with Lucy. The answer is B. And this is why. Anyways, this is why they said, what does Natin Paquet explain? What does she identify as the primary obstacle to effective food redistribution? So if you read, she said, believe that mandatory would address hunger and this thing. She's the one that said, okay, mandatory will address hunger and this thing. But she said, remember, if you like, she asserts, I read this from here, but you can go back if you start backwards. She said they already possess infrastructure to redistribute food safely and efficiently. She asserts, what we lack, which is the problem, which is the obstacle. Obstacle is what they lack. Obstacle is not the inadequate in that question. Obstacle is what we lack, that is what is not making them to redistribute. What we lack is is consistent supply. They are not getting consistent supply. That is their problem for this food donation. They don't have consistent supply. She now said voluntary programs are well intentioned, but you don't resemble results. If you read it further, she now said some retail partners donate regularly. That is, some retail, some store, maybe let's say some store like Walmart may donate regularly, while others like No Frills, or I'm sorry, I'm calling people's name, or other stores may not donate. I'm just giving an example. So it's just like they're not saying that the problem they have is that they don't have consistent donation from all the retail store that they are partnering with. That is their primary obstacle is consistent supply. That is unreliable contribution from retail partner. This is part 4. Lucy, all the people that said C, do you get an explanation? You said A. Aduni, you said A. Insufficient storage capacity. No. You remember that she said here that we possess the infrastructure. Storage is infrastructure to redistribute this food safely and efficiently. She asserts. The what we lack, which is the obstacle now, what we lack, what they don't have, is consistent supply. What we lack is consistent supply. What they don't have is consistent supply. She now went further to explain what she means by that. Voluntary programs are well intentioned, but they yield unpredictable results. She notes that some suppliers donate regularly, while others discard perfectly wholesome produce simply because it fails to meet aesthetic standard. That means leave all of these things. This place is just telling you some donate regularly, while others do not donate regularly. That's what it's just trying to tell you. Yes, you were correct. Did you pick? Were you not sure of yourself? you were very. You are correct, Lucy. Adini, Adini is like you wake up from sleep and just gave us A. Well done. How I won't pass reading like this. Don't panic. That's why I said read the question to. In fact, I'll be asking you people what the question mean, because you need to ask yourself, what does this question mean? Because that's why I was surprised that you people are picking C. There is no place in this paragraph that C was mentioned. How do people pick P? Inadequate government funding. Is there anywhere in this paragraph that I see government funding? I'm just surprised that I think a lot of you always see what somebody pick, and other people will follow them and pick the same thing. It's not like that though. It's only Lucy that picked a different thing, that picked B, and she's. Please, can you go to YouTube? Maybe let me refresh the page. It might be clear, but YouTube is more clearer. So let's see. Is it better? Based on the article, Robert, Robert Tib, whatever, Robert and Dr. Miriam Okafor would likely agree. You see, when I told you that two people that this, I didn't even go through the question, but I know that two people have reservation are going to be against somehow. So that is how you understand your passage, and it's easier for me now. It's even very easy for me to pick my response if I open this question, because when I said I know this question, I mentioned it when I was reading that two people are going to share like against. This person is not fully against, but like have some reservation, which means that somehow against, like, oh, is not in total support and is not in total. So they're going to share. Robert, who is this person? Sorry, I'm even answering the question for you people. Sorry. Robert, I'm just telling you the importance of trying to understand your paragraph or your passage when you read, when you skim them with that first sentence. Based on Robert and Dr. Miriam would likely agree, voluntary donation has already proven that voluntary donation has already proven successful. Food bank should develop their own procurement system. Proposed legislation warrants more nuanced implementation. Environmental concern outweigh food safety. Environmental concerns outweigh food safety consideration. So, do you guys want us to? Do you want to pick response or you want me to scroll up so you read what they say? You check before you give me answer. Let me scroll up a little bit for you people. Okay, I think this place covered both of your perspectives. So, which answer is correct? Before me, I'll come in. Last one. Okay. We have two people saying B now. I will give you other people like few seconds more. Somebody said C. Which last line are you referring to, Adini? Please let me like the live. Oh, thank you. People on TikTok and people on YouTube too. Please help me like it. It's not only people on TikTok. Please help me like. It's only one person that have liked it since. Thank you. And we have 10 people here. Please help me like it too. Thank you. Like- Thank you. Okay, we now have more C's coming in. So Adini said B. Uh, Missy said B. I guess other people said C. So let's. I'm giving. Say I should load it. Rara o. Okay. Rara o, which one is your this thing? When you say Rara, you not say B. Which one is your response? Which one is B? Okay, the B was for the previous question. Sorry, I mean oh, the B for was for previous one. What's your answer for this one? You are wasting time. Oh, let me. Paul, which one is your answer? Kemi, which one is your answer? People that have exam. Is this how you people will be wasting time? You people are supposed to be answering first. People that have exam coming up soon. Anyways, for me, I think okay, let's read the question again. Based on the article, Robert and Miriam would likely agree that so many people okay, people said C. Okay. I think I agree with the people that said C. Yes. Error. I thought I saw procurement before. Me, okay, Missy, which one did you pick? Okay, C. Okay. I think I agree with you people. Yes. This one is straightforward because I was surprised that somebody said B, but it's like every other people that said B have cancelled their B. So I guess there is no point going over this one because they have their reservations, so they are just talking about like they need a more like proposed legislation warrant a nuanced implementation. Like when you want to implement it, I don't know what like nuance means, but I guess like extra caution when you want to implement it. Jerome, Jerome's reference to French legislation implies that dash. Let me You guys know where Jerome is in the last paragraph. That's why I say you can choose to write the name of the person and the paragraph down. But anyways, so Jerome's reference to French legislation implies that, in fact, before then, which perspective is Jerome? Is he balanced, or is he in support, or is he against, or is he balanced perspective? Okay, thank you, Adoni. Thank you, Bernice, for liking the live. Thank you. Uh-uh. Why people not pick responses? It's more than 1 minute in exam. Is this what is going to happen? They said Jerome's reference to French legislation, and it's actually straightforward in the passage. So why the waste of time? Okay, thank you, Paul. Amaka, thank you. Priska, please. Options are not showing well. Okay. Let me scroll up and see. Anyway, this is not the answer. I mistakenly picked it. So don't assume I'm going to change it when we have decided. Have you seen? Is this okay? Is it better now? I'm going to change that answer. That's not the answer. Sorry, you guys didn't tell me. Let me bring down the question again a little bit. Is it better? I think it's better now. For people on YouTube, notification is the last word in that my image covered. Okay, somebody. Yeah, it's better. We don't choose answer here. Oh. I'm picking. Okay, Paul is picking B. Okay, Adoni is picking B. Okay, Kemi. Sorry, I had to respond to somebody, someone's message. So yeah, I think I also. Let me see TikTok people before I answer. Okay, Joy is picking B on TikTok. Joy is the only one that picked answer on TikTok. Yeah, I do agree with the people that picked B. So because this is where the answer lies. He said he cites France 2016 law prohibiting supermarket food waste as evidence that my mandatory donation can succeed when accompanied by appropriate support mechanism. So, according to Packet, some retailers dispose of food that has exceeded its recommendation to consumption date, lacks adequate nutritional content, sorry, mm, does not satisfy appearance criteria, cannot withstand transportation condition. This one you should even be able to answer it before I go and show you people the passage, because I read this thing. The answer is already there. If you remember, I read it when we answered this question. I read it then. Mhm. But let me bring it down for you people. So this one, 2 seconds, you should pick your answer. Paul, what's your answer? Kemi, what's your answer? Who else is writing the exam? Benis, is it this particular question you chose C for? Taye? I don't know which one is your first name, but I guess Benis. Hey, is this how people want to be wasting time in exam? God, no wonder people say reading is after your life. I read this thing when we were answering this particular question. I read it when we were answering this question. So for me, if I see this question, I will not even go back to the passage. I will pick my answer straight away. Thank you, Joy. Aduni, choose answer this time around. Have you gone to bed? Paul, Kemi, hey, God abeg. So when I read this answer, I'm not going to go ahead and start reading the whole question again, but I'm going to show you people where I read and I said it. He said, where when I was reading it, I said she knows that some retailers donate regularly, while others discard perfectly wholesome produce, simply because it fails to meet aesthetic standard. Aesthetic standard means physical appearance, the looks. So it does not satisfy the appearance criteria. Thank you for people that show C on TikTok. Thank you, Kemi. Paul, you picked A. What's response to A? Let me see what A is. Has exceeded this recommendation date? No, they didn't say anything about it. This is where the answer lies. That they discard perfectly wholesome products simply because it fails to meet its aesthetic standards. So let's go to fill in the gap. This one, we're going to do it fast. The article captures, because I want to do diagram before we leave. Lucy did not come yesterday. We did speaking and writing yesterday. Go and watch yesterday recording. It's on YouTube. The article captures a genuine predicament facing our community. The urbanist. This article captures a genuine predicament facing our community. White Packet emphasized that donation programs yield inconsistent results. Food bank requires additional funding. Retailers deliberately waste products. Environmental damage is irreversible. The concerns raised by Dash is cannot be easily dismissed. Okay, let me read this again. Why Packet emphasized that Dash. Let me go to Packet so that in case you want to go to the passage again. But if you are going to the passage for every question that has to do with one person, that means you don't know your time management. Most of all these questions now, because we have read packet over and over again, you should be able to pick your answers here. You have gone to that packet over and over again. You should know what his views are. You should be easily pick your answer. It's not all the time you now see his name, you'll be running to the passage. That shows if you are running to the passage for every question that mention the same person's name, it means you did not understand the passage. You did not understand what you are reading. Paul, you pick C for this one. Joy picked A. Okay. Any other person picking? All the other people, this is how you are going to be wasting the time in the exam. Well done, no, you guys. Kemi, you have your exam coming up. Pick your answer. You guys. Anyways, I'm going to be agreeing with Joy. Um, Paul, I know that yes, we said this one talked about discard food that are wholesome, but it's not deliberate. They didn't discard it deliberately. The main argument is emphasize that donation programs yield inconsistent results. But they yield voluntary programs are well intentioned, but they yield unpredictable results. Okay, it's not for this one you picked. Sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. Kemi A, okay. Yes, okay. Paul, what did you choose for this one? I already pick answer anyway, so maybe I'm not. I don't know why I'm not seeing you people's response fast. I guess it's network. Anyways, let's finish this question first. So the concern raised by um, grocery representative grocery representatives cannot be easily dismissed. I found Dr. Kafor's point about dash particularly compelling. Who is Okafor? Okafor is here. What is her argument about? Because I found Dr. Kafor's point about dash particularly compelling. Rushing comprehensive mandate could indeed backfire. So what is the Chukuka Christian? Okay, Christiana. I guess that's your last name is your first name is Christiana. Christiana, hey, is it for this particular question that you picked A? I don't know why YouTube is not giving me the response immediately, but okay, Joyous A, Falami A. So yeah, I think I do agree with you people. So let's move on. However, um, Vasquez Vasquez makes a persuasive case dash that grocery stores are primarily responsible for food waste. Similar legislation has succeeded elsewhere. Canada should prioritize environmental policy food banks need better infrastructure. Which one? This one is easy. Oh. Joyous, this one is A. Is it this one you are picking A for right now? You two people, please still drop your response. I know that they are not giving me your response immediately, but please still drop your response. Thank you. TikTok people, help me to like the live. Thank you. I don't even need to like this thing, so maybe I'm saying live. Okay. Hmm? Is it this one you are choosing A? Grocery stores are primarily responsible for food wastage. I don't agree with A, please. I agree with B. Similar registration has succeeded elsewhere. Perhaps, perhaps what Canada needs is not a debate over whether to act, but rather a thoughtful discussion about implementation, retail compensation, environmental priorities, charity funding, charitable funding. What do you people pick? Christina, which one did you choose D for? Which number? Is it this number 4? For TikTok people, for YouTube people, please, when you want to drop your answer, can you add the number? Because I think I'm not getting your responses immediately. So that I will know which one you are picking your D for. Okay, let me see this one. Food bank needs better instruction. No, the answer is not there. This is it. Why I picked similar registration has succeeded elsewhere. He said, a very workable solution. He cites France, it has succeeded elsewhere, prohibiting food waste as evident that might can succeed when accompanied by appropriate legislation. So he didn't mention anything about food bank. He didn't mention anything about prioritizing environment. He didn't also mention anything about grocery store being responsible. You can use the elimination. Even if you don't know the answer, you can use the elimination. He didn't mention anything about any of these three things. So for number 4, what do you guys picked? Please, okay, please be please be adding number to YouTube people be adding number to your listing. Number 4, okay, Joy, you picked A. Okay. Okay, yeah, me too. I agree with A. So let's move on. In the end, any effective policy must balance the urgency of addressing hunger with the dash. Let me read this again. In the end, any effective policy must balance urgency of addressing hunger with dash concern that industry stakeholders have articulated. So which one do people pick for this one? The last one, number 5. Thank you, Kevin. Number 5, what is number 5? It's easy to pick your response. Five is A. Why did you pick A? Folami, you said D. Financial. Why did you pick financial? You guys should respond so that I can move to. We can do diagram and we call it a day because your gear is tired. I need to rest my back. Type is C. Thank you, online ventures. Okay, Jayo says C. So yeah, me too. I agree with C because everything that was being talked about here is the environmental impact and the hunger and addressing hunger. And if you even say it here, so we are about both hunger and environmental. Like everything that was talked about is about hunger and the environmental impact of discarding those produce. So yeah, I agree with people that said C. So let's submit. I hope you don't fail anyone. If you fail anyone, just give up. Ah, A is number five. Wow. Logistics. C. The people that said A, Badmus and Oluwakemi, sorry, I was calling your last name. And Christiana, you got it. Yes. Yeah, you got it. But okay, let me see. Should specifically mention logistics, present genuine concern, like, but let me see the question. In the end, the effective policy must balance the urgency of hunger with dash industry. Okay, industry that the industry stakeholders articulated. Oh, I missed this particular point. Sorry. I want to go to that question. Oh, something went wrong. I think I forgot the question we are actually answering. Do anybody remember the number? I wanted to go to that question actually, but I missed out that last word. That means it's supposed to take us to a particular part of the paragraph. That's where the industry stakeholders talked about something. So, okay, yeah, I think this is this. So let me see. Industry stakeholders. Industry stakeholders mean the grocery industry. So for every this thing, that's what I want you to do during your practice. You must identify why you failed the one you failed. So now I wanted to identify why I failed the one I failed, and I see that I missed out the important point that industry stakeholders articulated. This industry stakeholder, who are the industry stakeholders? The retail industry stakeholders, that the grocery industry stakeholder. And if you go there, you will see information about the blanket, Robert. So what they were talking about is not so simple. So he explained that coordinating pickup schedule, that's this logistic, but logistic presents a genuine concern. Yeah, that's correct. It's my bad. I missed out on this particular point. So when you are also practicing, make sure that when you make mistake, identify that, oh, this is why you fail. So I missed out on this industry stakeholders, and that is the key point that will point me to where I was supposed to see my response. Sorry. And that is it. So let's do diagram and see if you can finish it in 15 minutes. But I know with you people now that you take time like princesses. I am sure that we are not going to finish in 15 minutes. Should we do read smartphone comparison chart or winter resort comparison? I think we should do winter sports comparison. You are yeah, so you are taking time like princesses. Don't take time like princesses in this time around. So I don't like questions like this. I like something in time of not because we can't do it, but I don't know if if they have ever given somebody something like this. I always feel like it's always in form of diagram. Why would they be giving us something like that? Not because I don't like it. I just want something that can be in form of diagram. Hmm? Okay. I don't like the color of this thing, but it's fine. Let's do it. Do you guys agree that you don't like the color, or it's just me that does not like the color? It looks somehow. Okay, let's go straight. Camera lens guard, professional photography equipment, standard zoom lens, telephoto lenses, sorry, wide angle lenses, macro lenses, prime lenses, special offer, care and maintenance, contact information. I would want to go through this special offer. I told you well, this one is I like to go additional information or any extra add-on. Free kits with lens, 10% discount, professional warranty available, trading owned lens for store carriage. Okay. Then contact information, store phone, website. Okay. Then store hours. Note all prices are US dollar, subject to change without notice. Professional prices available for registered photographers. Okay. So let's go. Hi, John. I saw your post about getting into professional photography. I have been shooting for 10 years now and thought I could share some lens recommendation from Elite Camera. For Dash, I suggest the 24 to 70 mm. So, what will be your keyword to search here now? For Dash, I suggest what is your keyword? We already know that he's going to he's talking about lens. So he said I will share some lens recommendations. So we know that whatever we are going to look for is going to be in the lens part, all these places that they talk about lens. So what is your keyword for session? Your keyword for session is you guys should be fast. Princesses. Oh yeah, my prince and princesses online. Yes, 24 to 70 mm. So we already know that it is he is going to give recommendation about lens. So we go to that lens part. So what will be your answer now? For Dash, I would definitely suggest 24 to 70 mm. So which one? Prince and princesses. Oh yeah, oh. Prince. Who is princess? Who is prince here? I don't know any prince here, but I have plenty princesses. Oh yeah. So stop taking your time. We don't have time to take in an exam. We need to get it fast. So I already left it at where you will see your answer, but you guys are not. Okay. Thank you for Lami. God bless you for not taking your time, even though it took a little time. You two princesses and prince. Okay. Nobody's. I would agree with Folami because even though there is no starting out, but if you use the wildlife is not, but that's the only one that is 24 to 70 mm. That's where he said I would suggest 24 to 70 mm. So any other part one is not there. And you see that wildlife is this wildlife. This is for wildlife. If you want to shoot wildlife, you use telephoto lenses, right? And macro is 100 mm. This one is 70 mm. Landscape, which one covers landscape? I think this one covers landscape. Is so This one will be starting out the standard one. Standard zoom lens is the start will be the starting out, and that's the one that carries this feature of 24 to 70 mm. You're just joining. If you're just joining, you try and join on time so that you can understand what we are doing. I don't let me explain again, but next time I'm not going to be starting over for anybody. When we see diagram, what we do, I go through the headings: elite camera lens guide, professional photography equipment. So I know that this is a diagram of a lens guide is guiding you about the different lens for an equipment, a photography equipment. Then I go to the headings: standard zoom lens, telephoto lenses, wide angle lenses, macro lenses, prime lenses, special offer, care and maintenance, contact information, store hours. Then I read the footnotes. All prices are in USD. Prices subject to change without notice. Professional pricing available for registered photographers. And then I start my question. You see how I did not take time to start reading all of these things, because that is waste of time. Then that's we now started this one. So this one we read this question and we use this keyword to search. And that is why we picked. I'm not going to repeat that question. So join us for the next question. It's great for dash and comes with ceiling. It's great for dash. So what is it great for? Sport photography, macro shots, portraits and events, wildlife shots. In fact, this one, if you waste time like this, I'm coming to get you guys. You guys. Ajoke, Ajoke, which one did you pick? Thank you, Joke. Thank you so much. Are you people going to waste time again to pick this option when we already know they are still talking about this one? Let's start again. For dash, I would definitely, for starting out, I would, so you can read when you pick your answer, you can read it now. For starting out, I'll definitely suggest the 24 to 70 mm. It is great for dash. What is it great for? So why are you wasting time to choose this option? Thank you, Kemi. You are waiting for me to talk before you see. Thank you for portrait. You can see that this is wedding portrait. It's good. It's ideal for wedding portrait and events. They already give you events, so you see wedding. Thank you, guys. And comes with weather sealing, which is essential for outdoor work. If you are planning to do any dash photography, you would want the dash. If you're planning to do any wildlife photography, you would want dash. So what does it tell you? You want dash. 3 seconds for this one because it's as clear as daylight. If you want wildlife photography, which one would you want? Thank you for Lami. Okay. It said it's YouTube. I don't know why YouTube is messing up today, but anyways. So this one, what's your answer? Kemi. I don't know if Paul is still here. What's your answer? I don't want to reload this YouTube. Let me reload it and see. So I reloaded the YouTube. Hopefully, it doesn't. It's meeting up with time B. Okay, thank you for people that shows B. That's correct, because this is wildlife, and this is what is chosen. It's this is what the lens size. It's currently on pre-order, but what the wait for landscape? Check out the wide angle lens. It is dash and produces incredibly sharp image. So let's go to, they already tell you where to go. For landscape work, check out the wide angle lenses. This is the wide angle lenses. It is Dutch and produces incredibly sharp image. The first one said weather sealed, most expensive, lightweight, bestseller. Yes, I think people have answered. Yes, see, I agreed with you people. He said lightweight design. Yes, and producing like incredibly sharp image. Don't forget that dash. If you are still okay, don't forget that dash. If you are still a student, that you can trade in old lenses, you can get free cleaning kits, you can get 10% off. Professional pricing is available. So where do people want me to go for this particular question? Which part of the image do you think it will be from what we read from the topic? It will be in the special offers. I don't or at the SIO, yeah. So yeah, additional information. Thank you. Any additional information, special offer, add-on information. Sorry, back is spending me. Okay, which one do you people pick? See, yeah, thank you. I was trying to stand up. My back is spending me. Mhm. If you're still okay, let me know if you want to join me at the free cleanings workshop this weekend. Best, Mike. Mike is writing to John because oh sorry, why am I reading in my mind? John asked for camera recommendation. They are attending a workshop together. Mike saw John's interest in photography. They are professional photographers. Okay. And hey, YouTube is responding very well now. YouTube people are picking C. TikTok people are picking. Joyous, is it this one you're picking A for? Let's see. I saw your post about getting into photography. He didn't ask, so he saw his interest. I saw your post about getting into. So I think I agree with people that said C. My saw John interest in photography. So let's go. The store offers free cleaning workshop every weekend, every day, every Saturday by appointment. Hmm. People made me to miss the half time that I want to watch for Shakira and Burna Boy. Uh-uh. Ajoke, take it easy now. You have gone ahead. So let's see. The options are covered. Oh, sorry. Is it still covered? But this is the option. Here, they said free lens cleaning workshop every Saturday. So some people on TikTok pick C. So that's why I pick C. So the last one, oh, according to the guy, the most affordable lenses. So let me go back to Ajoke. Which one? I don't know the question Joke is just answering on TikTok on YouTube. Please, you two people, help me to like my this thing. No, help me to like, and TikTok people help me to like. We're almost done, anyways. The last question, and you people are wasting time. My prince and princesses, please pick the option. Okay, you want me to scroll up? Okay. So this one is saying the most affordable. So let's look at all the prices now. The first is this one, 1899, 2999, 1699, 999, 449. Mm, yeah. So someone already picked C, and I agree. We already gone through it. So you can see that that is the most affordable. The most affordable, the cheapest. Yeah. So I think that's all. We'll submit, and we had everything correct. So the key point is study your diagram in 1 minute, like identify each sub each identify all the subheadings so that you study your diagram that way. Identify all your subheadings. In fact, we are almost doing everything on this surface people. Uh, oh, I love this one. It's plenty. That kind of thing I like to go through. So identify all the this thing, all the parts, all your topics. You study it, all the topics. Don't bother reading anything there. Just study all the topics and see materials needed, printing process, preparation stage, troubleshooting, carving process, workshop supply, then read the footnotes, any important notes that is added if there is. Don't bother this thing, but read the headings too. Traditional wood blocking to help you understand what you are studying. Traditional wood block, traditional wood block printing, a step-by-step guide to material and process. So you already know that, okay, even before going through this place, so you know that, oh, it's going to tell you about the materials, about the process, and like the process, all those things. So if you study your diagram, when they ask you question, you already know where to go. If they ask you question on that has to do with maybe wood carving process, you already, because you already read the heading, immediately you know where to go. So the trick to self questions and time management is knowing exactly where to go to look for your answers, and not going up and down, going up and down. So do that during your practice. Stop going up and down. I'm not going to do part one today so that I'm tired and I need to get back to my life. And you guys should have a good night. I I don't know. We'll see you next Saturday and Sunday. But next upper one, I'm not going to be available. Let me say it again today. Both weekends, I'm not going to be available at all. So thank you. We'll continue. That will be, I think, the first week. Wait, let me be sure. Let me give you two dates that will not be available so you know it beforehand. That will be 1st and 2nd of August. I'm not going to be available. Thank you. God bless you. And thank you for liking my life. Thank you for engaging my life. And thank you for coming, showing up, even though I know today is World Cup. If I had remembered that today is World Cup final, I wouldn't have I would have cancelled the class. But good thing that we still practiced. And I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.